Hello everybody and welcome to Vaidya's Chess Hub, and today we are going to discuss three important things. Number one, what I want to discuss with you is our program for how to organize the tournament. Uh, the seniors are the volunteers for this, and I have chosen two volunteers. In fact, I have not chosen from the students, they themselves volunteers. So number one, you have Saumitra, and number two, you have Jai. Saumitra and Jai. Okay, so these two will be our volunteers. Now listen to this very carefully, what you must do, and especially the students of the B batch should be listening to this very carefully. Now Saumitra, your responsibility is to organize a tournament for all A plus B batch, for all, on Friday, every Friday. So you must do this every Friday. There is no rating barrier, but it should be password protected so that our students play the tournament every Friday. That is Saumitra, Saujo147. That's your responsibility. Type in the chat if you have heard me properly. Okay, it is your responsibility. Every Friday tournament for all. Now coming to Jai. Jai, your responsibility is to create a tournament every Tuesday only for the B batch players. So the rating is going to be 1400. Anybody whose rating is 1400 or below should play in the tournament. Above 1400 will not be allowed. Okay, Jai, again, every Tuesday only for B batch. So the filter is 1400 and below. That is Jai's responsibility. So Saumitra has given me a thumbs up. I'm looking for Jai's thumbs up now. Every Tuesday. It should be password protected. And so the B batch guys, listen to this properly. Tuesday, every week you will play two tournaments. The Tuesday tournament is only for the B batch. And on Friday you can play along with the A batch to find out how you can fight. But Tuesday's tournament will be exclusively for you. Friday's tournament is for all. And very soon I might ask Omkar sir also to join the tournament. That would be wonderful. If Omkar sir also joins, he says yes, that would be wonderful. So that was about tournaments. Jai will organize a tournament every Tuesday, 1400 or below, and Saumitra will organize a tournament for all every Friday. Then there is no rating, but both the tournaments should have passwords. That is, the students of our hub should only play, and you can share that on WhatsApp. Okay, so that's done, and now we are going to start with a very interesting section. Today, what I have thought that we will do is going to be very interesting. You should know the famous chess players of all times, and I have selected 10 chess players that you must know. So how we are going to go about it? Well, I hope you have your notepad ready, so you can write down image 1, image 2, image 3. You can go on and do that and write down the name of the player. So every time you get a photo in front of you, I'm going to start the countdown timer for a minute. 1 minute, except for the first image, and you will know why. So you will have 1 minute, and then you can type in the chat. You can guess. You can type in the chat who you think it is. Okay, and after a minute I'll show you the answer, and then you can write it down in the notepad. You can write it as image 1 and you can write it down. It's okay. Let's get started. And here is what I want to share with you. The first thing that we are going to do today, famous chess players you should know. So I hope that you are ready, and welcome to the people who have just joined us. So I hope that you are all set for the first one coming up. And who is this gentleman? I am not even going to give you 1 minute for this, because that's former world champion, grandmaster from India, Vishwanathan Anand. The reason I did not give you 1 minute for this is because if you don't know him, then I wonder what you're doing with chess in India. So there was no 1 minute required for this. So how you will write down in a notepad is what I'm going to tell you now. What you will do is, in the notepad, you should write down the famous chess players. Okay, and then you should write down number 1, Grandmaster Vishwanathan Anand. Okay, this is how I want you to make a note. I'm sure you're looking at it properly. Famous chess players, and the first one was Grandmaster Vishwanathan Anand. I did not give you 1 minute for that, so please kindly make a note of that. Okay, so let us now proceed to the next one. I am sure now you have understood what I am trying to do here. So every time I will give you 1 minute, and in that 1 minute you can try and guess who the personality is. So the second one coming up, second one is this gentleman, and you have about a minute to start. Okay, 1 minute. Start doing it, guys. A minute. Who do you think is the personality? Can we pull up the chat window? Yes, we can. We can pull up the chat window. So let's see what our friends are saying. They're saying Gary Kasparov. Granth is saying no idea. Well, that is why I wanted to do this, because if you don't know Gary Kasparov, then probably your knowledge is incomplete. He's a former world chess champion. So former world champion Grandmaster Gary Kasparov. So he of course belonged to Russia, but currently he is a Croatian. So please make sure that you make proper notes. The second one in your notepad, please. Grandmaster Gary Kasparov. He is from Croatia. Kindly make a note. By the way, I have a question for seniors. The question for you seniors is, you can type in the chat what is his real name, in the sense his birth name. He adopted the surname Kasparov from his mother after his father's sad death. But his real name, that's what I want. So please, if you can tell me what is Grandmaster Gary Kasparov's birth name. He later took the name Kasparov. Can you tell me? The seniors of the hub, can you tell me what is his name? And if you don't know this, I'm going to share something interesting with you. If you don't know his real name, on our channel I have a chess quiz video on Vaidya's Chess Hub. I have created a chess quiz video, and in that chess quiz video, this happens to be one of the questions. I repeat, chess quiz in our channel. Go to the videos and watch that video. You will definitely come to know, and please then type down in the comments or send it to me on WhatsApp. Let us proceed to the number 3. I believe we've shared 2 images so far. Let us proceed to the next one. The third one. Who is this gentleman? You have a minute. Ankit, I'm looking at getting answers from you as well. Who is this gentleman? Famous player. If you don't know these players, then you should probably learn first about them, because I'll tell you how laughable it will be if you don't know such gentlemen. It's like you are saying that you play cricket, but then when I show you Sachin Tendulkar's photo, you cannot recognize who he is. It's that funny. So the first one was Vishwanathan Anand from India. Second one, Garry Kasparov. And now the third one, he is also a former world chess champion. So kindly try to guess. If not, I'm going to make you aware of who he is. That's why I decided to do this for the new joinees especially. Seniors know this. They have it all in the notes. They watch the games. This is for the new admissions. Those who are new to chess. They should know these players. That's one day you want to be where these great players, at some time were. They are former world chess champions, not current, okay? So good guess. People in the chat have been saying the correct names. So I will pull it up now. Yes, the name former world champion Grandmaster Anatoly Karpov from Russia. He's a very, very nice person, thorough gentleman, Anatoly Karpov. And you can search this with the name in YouTube and you'll get so many good videos. In fact, I also, when as a kid, used to follow his games. Very, very decent personality. Very, very super sharp player. I liked his games a lot. So please make a note of it. You're jotting down all the names, the new joinees, the new admissions at the Chess Hub. You need to know these guys. They are the champions. So make sure that you write it down. Okay. The thing is, now we will proceed to the next one. I'm sure that you are ready for this one. And your work in the notepad is over. The third one, Anatoly Karpov. Make sure you write the spellings correct. I want you to get the spellings right, guys. Next one. Who is this champion? Number 4. I'm looking for answers from seniors. So, Vihang, Samartha, who else? Sanchit, Ankit, Saumitra. You guys should probably guess this one. Who is this personality? Very popular. In fact, about this personality, he in fact recently had a chess camp with the Indian junior champions. Pragnananda and Nihal Sarin all were part of that camp, and he was the one to conduct the camp. So can you guess what his name is? Yes, the seniors have not disappointed me, so they have typed the name correctly. Yes, he is former world champion Grandmaster Vladimir Kramnik from Russia. You must know all these names. The people who are new admissions, new to chess, are wondering why we should know these guys. I just gave you a good example. It's like you're a fan, big fan of tennis, and you don't know who Roger Federer is. It's inexcusable. Similarly, if you're starting out with chess, these are the people that you have to know. And only then you can study their games and develop. Okay, learn so much. Great people. Grandmaster Vladimir Kramnik. And please, with the correct spelling. Vladimir Kramnik from Russia. He is very well known for his Russian defense, the Petrov defense. He's a champion player of that particular defense. Now you would know why these guys are important, because in the lectures you have come across this Russian defense. You know Petrov defense. So now you know that these are the guys who studied their games. You can learn so much. They are so resourceful. So can we move now to the number 5? Yes, Saumitra is also right. He came second in play for charity in the chess championship. He took a chess camp. That was, I think, something worth noticing when it comes to Indian perspective. Okay, so let us now go to the next. Number 5. Who is this personality? Now this one is really interesting. The seniors would also probably have to scratch their heads a little bit. Very important. Very, very important. Who is this personality? Can you guess? You are allowed to guess, of course. If you go wrong, big deal, but it's a black and white image, not 4K video or HD quality. So that shows that he is quite an old chess player. Guess. Jay has guessed it absolutely correct. He is former world champion Jose Raul Capablanca. Now it is important, guys, that you pay attention at the pronunciation. Very important. Pronunciation. The pronunciation is Jose. The spelling is Jose, but it is Jose. Jose Raul Capablanca, and he is from Cuba. Remember that. Player from Cuba, Jose Raul Capablanca. You can, when you actually now have the names, you should go ahead and search for these guys on the Wikipedia. That's, I suppose, a very good thing to do. Make a note. Also, please make a note of the country they belong to. Very important, the country. Next one. Number 6. Who is this personality? You have a minute. Yes, Ankit is absolutely right. He is talking about the image number 5. He's talking about Jose Capablanca. So this one is, I think Vihang has guessed it, and now Ankit has also guessed it. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. He is former world champion Alexander Alekhine. Now you would like it so much, is it not? We've been talking about the Alekhine defense. Alekhine defense. I always played with black. Yes, there you go. Alexander Alekhine. Now you would notice that he changed his nationality because he suffered a lot during the World War. So if you see his nationality, Russian, then he was a French citizen, then he belonged to the Nazi German regime. So there was quite a lot happening, and what is important is to understand, he must have gone through a lot, but the contribution to chess, amazing. Alexander Alekhine, please make a note of that. Image number 6. Alexander Alekhine. We have 6 images done so far, and I'm going to actually bring up the notepad just to make sure that your notepad matches what I have with me here. So I hope you've made these 6 entries. We have done 6 players, and now we will go to the remaining 4. So 7, 8, 9 and 10. I hope that your notepad just has the same entries, and that too with the correct spelling. Time to continue. So this was Alexander Alekhine for you. And number 7. Again, a black and white image. So there is a lot of guesswork that can go in. The seniors. Who is this? Image number 7. Who is this? Famous chess player. Famous chess player? You don't know, but they are famous. Just because you don't know, your ignorance is excused. But you've got to guess. Okay? Very important. It's a very, very important. So number 7. Ankit is saying Paul Morphy. Namish is saying Magnus Carlsen. Well, if Magnus Carlsen actually is watching this or ever watches this, he will probably find it humorous. Why would he have his photo taken like this unless it was some kind of Apple iPhone effect of getting his photo into black and white? This is not Magnus Carlsen. I know why some students guessed Magnus Carlsen, because that's the only player they know. So whoever it is can be Magnus Carlsen. Great logic, but this is not Magnus Carlsen. Ignorance is excused. You are new to chess. But the correct answer has been given by a few good students. Absolutely, it is Paul Morphy. 100%. Although, what is more impressive is the spelling of Morphy that the students got right. It's not Murphy. It's Paul Morphy. 100% correct. Very nice. I'm very impressed. So kindly make a note with the correct spelling. Paul Morphy. Something for you more to do research on. Well, by the way, when I talk about these great players, the computers then were not so popular. So understand this, that their games often have got some inaccuracies, a lot of inaccuracies for that matter. But then chess was more human. So it's easy to say, come on, what kind of sacrifice is that? Why is your opponent not playing strong? It was an era without computers. So you have to, understand that and then appreciate their level of play. So famous players, Paul Morphy, he belonged to the United States of America. Okay, time now to go to number 8. Absolutely brilliant this session. You have learned 7 good personalities here, and along with their image. So just listening to their names is one thing, but now to know them. Someone who is new to chess, you better know who these guys are. Number 8. Who is this famous chess player? So kindly let me know. Who is this famous chess player? He is known as something about him that I would like to tell you. About this player, he's known for his aggressive and beautiful piece sacrifice combinations. If you ever want to get good games that involve sacrifice, their games are more like art, piece of art. So that's your clue, and he's famous for that. Any guesses? Ankit has guessed it right. Absolutely. So Ankit has guessed it correct. This guy, he is not. Prajna has guessed it as Bobby Fischer. It's a good guess because it's a black and white image, but that is Prajna, not Bobby Fischer. Good guess. Very good guess. But no, he is not Bobby Fischer. He is Mikhail Tal, former world champion Mikhail Tal from the then Soviet Union until 1991. After the country got split, he belonged to the country Latvia. So please make sure that you are making a note. Number 8, Mikhail Tal. His games are very, very nice. They teach you a lot about tactics, a lot about combinations. His games are always referred to. Now the benefit of knowing all these names is that you can go ahead and search their games online. You get so many of those good games. They're very resourceful. It'll improve your understanding and improve in chess. Number 9 now, penultimate entry. We are going to study 10. So this is the penultimate one. That is number 9. Again, a very famous player, but for you might be difficult because it's a black and white image. So all for the guesswork, and I will give you a clue. He is not Bobby Fischer. So that's a very important clue. He is not Bobby Fischer. Do some other guessing. Number 9. Who is this famous player? So who is this famous chess player? Nijapkar this time has actually made a mockery of the clue I gave. I told you that he is not Bobby Fischer, and guess what Samartha says? Bobby Fischer! Absolutely wrong answer. Thanks. So Ankit again is right. So Jay is also right. Saumitra is right. So 3 people have made stunning guesses and absolutely correct. He is none other than the former world champion Emanuel Lasker. He is from Germany. Okay, so make a note with the correct spelling, please, because if you don't put in the correct name, maybe you will find it difficult to search the game, and then you will wonder why you did not find anything, unless Google was smart enough to understand you don't know anything and still shows you the result. Okay, so make sure that you do this. He is not from Poland, he is from Germany. So Sagar, you've got it wrong. He is not from Poland, he is from Germany. You can Wikipedia. Saumitra, I'm happy you knew him. So Saumitra is saying that I did not guess, I knew him. This is the way I've seen him. Seen his photograph before. Yes, Ankit is right. He was a world champion for many years. Again, this is about the times when the computers were not so popular. So in fact, they hardly existed. Okay, so you've got to appreciate their time. And now going on to the ultimate one, the last one. This should not be difficult at all. Why? Because this is the image. Let's see how quickly I get it in the chat. Who is this famous chess player? Okay, so I don't think anybody would need to do any guesswork here. This is just absolutely easy. Who is this gentleman? He is, of course, Magnus Carlsen, but people have successfully misspelled Carlsen. So kindly, in a bid to type fast, don't type something incorrect. Okay, so Magnus Carlsen is absolutely the right answer, and he is from Norway, and he is the current world champion. So far you've been watching me say, or rather watch this and heard me say former world champion. Now here you have a current world chess champion, and he got this world champion status by beating Grandmaster Vishwanathan Anand from India. It was in Chennai. Alright, so we are done with 10, and I am now going to bring my notepad in front of you just to make sure that it matches what you've done. Make sure, I'm going to wait for about a minute for you to make sure that your list is absolutely like this. Kindly let me know in the chat if you have got all 10 names correctly. You can match and then do it. There is no urgency, but make sure that you do this. Next time, I'll come up with the next set of 10 players that you should know, and I will also ensure that there are a lot of players from India, because there is a lot of talent that's coming up. Absolutely. So can we make sure that we now move on to our next agenda? Are you done? Well, I hope you are done. Let's see what the guys are saying in the chat window. Yes, they are all giving a thumbs up that we can move on to the next one. So now the next on the agenda is study games. There are 3 study games, and now the seniors have to be extra alert. The B batch guys, just enjoy this. If you can, well, yes, you can do your guesswork and try to guess the moves. But the A batch guys, listen to me very carefully. The A batch guys, when I ask you a question, don't just give me one move. Try to give me a sequence of moves, especially if I give you 2 or 3 minutes of thinking time. Because today is Thursday, and you all know Thursday is for the A batch. Okay, so remember that if I have asked a question for the A batch, the answer should also be like the A batch. So make sure that you put in complete thought, and make sure you have the notepad still with you, because we want to write down the games. So let's get started with our first game. Here is my board and I'm ready with it, but let me make sure that the board is set up right. It is black to play. We will write down the details later about who was the player and whether it's worth writing where the game was played and everything. But I suppose we can start with the game first. We will write down the details and the notation later. So in this game, what happened is White opened with d4. So this should be something interesting. A batch guys, extra careful. Knight to f6, c4. Looks like it's going to be Nimzo-Indian, and yes, so far it looks like a Nimzo-Indian start. d4, let's go through it again. d4, knight f6, c4, e6, but for a change, knight to f3, then it's b7, and now you have a3. Now this move a3 is played by White to just gain control of this b4 square. White does not want black to go for bishop b4, so a3 is a prophylactic move in that sense. Bishop b7, so this is known as the fianchetto. It's an Italian word. Knight to c3. Knight to e4, wanting to exchange that knight. Remember that knight is protected by the bishop on b7, so it is not a hanging piece. Wants to just exchange this knight and probably get double pawn for White. That's the idea. But White brought the queen in for support. Exchange of knights happened anyway, so of course why will White double the pawns? So White took it with the queen. Bishop e7, getting ready to castle. So looks like a simple plan. Looks like a simple plan. Black wants to castle. Bishop f4. Black did not castle, but in fact put the bishop on the diagonal as the queen and the rook. So this bishop is very effective there. Queen out of the way. Black played the move d6. White played e3. And now it is here that I am going to ask the seniors to calculate the next move or set of moves, and I am going to give them 2 minutes. 2 minutes to calculate the line. Whatever you can do in 2 minutes. B batch guys can just give me one move, that's okay. But the A batch should give me the full answer as much as you can in 2 minutes. So let me start the countdown, and we are looking at 2 minutes. So let me start the time, and I will join you again at the end of these 2 minutes. All right. Well, the reason why I was waiting is because I was waiting for a line from our dear seniors who seem to have no clue, and that's why you can see that seniors have not typed any line at all. Well, that is sad. Vihang Nijapkar. So, yeah, there is a line by Saumitra, and he is saying bishop takes f3. Let's take a look at what he's saying. So Saumitra is saying bishop takes f3, g takes f3 and e5. Jai also agrees with bishop takes f3. Saumitra, let me tell you that your answer is far from correct. So you have a comfortable position right now, but you'll make it uncomfortable for black if you play what you do, if you play what you've typed. Vihang, no answers. Samartha, no answers. Well, this is why presence of mind is so important. Okay. So what I'm here to tell you, that's why such moments are important. I'm going to reveal now what the correct sequence is. But this is why sometimes you have to think about getting out of the box. Yes, the flank pawns should not be moved. But that doesn't mean that if you have a clear-cut winning opportunity, you should not do that. So now look at the continuation and enjoy what is about to follow. In this particular game, the winning move here for black is knight d7. Knight d7. Bishop e2 and g5. Now can you at least after this tell me why white resigned here? I'll tell you that white resigned in this position the moment black played g5. I will give you 2 minutes now to tell me why did white resign here. It's a A batch lecture, so A batch, give me a detailed answer. Why do you think white resigned here? Black played g5 and white resigned here. Why? 2 minutes. Okay, the time is up and let's look at what our seniors have tried. Our seniors have tried a lot of things, well, so the point is here, some people said knight is getting trapped. Well, the knight is not getting trapped. That's not what the answer is. Neither is the knight getting trapped nor the bishop. I'm going to show you. This is not actually what happens. For example, how can you say the bishop is trapped? The bishop has got g3 to go. And those who are saying the knight is trapped, Well, my point is, how is that even possible? The point is that if after bishop g3 black pushes g4, can the knight not go on g1? The knight can go on g1. So how can you say the knight is trapped? So seniors, that is a very, very important thing now to study. So please stop your guesswork and understand why white resigned here. I hope you are ready now and take notes. Later, of course, we'll write down the entire game. What happened in the game after g5 is actually white resigned. Why? Because bishop g3 is the only square for the bishop to go. And yes, black will continue with g4 attacking the knight. The knight has only one square. Notice if the knight goes to h4, the h4 square is attacked by bishop and the queen 2 times. So there will be a straight piece loss. So that is not a possible option. So there is only one move for the knight, which is knight goes back to g1. And now suddenly you should notice how this bishop, fianchettoed bishop, will take on g2 and the rook will be trapped. This is what is complete thinking. That is what I wanted. So the rook is going to get trapped. So after black plays bishop takes g2, there is simply no escaping, and this is all but lost. Having thought all this, black resigned. So I'm sure that you enjoyed this. Those who especially guessed something that was wrong, be honest and confess, and then you would enjoy the beauty of this. So let's pull up the notation window. Let's see if I can pull the notation. Can I get the notation? Yes, the notation is already here. Now you see the entire game. Kindly jot it down. I hope you are done copying with this. Type in the chat if you are done copying the moves. I hope that you are done with this. You can again rewatch the video or revisit this video, and then probably you can write it at your leisure. At the moment, I think it's best that we go to the next game. So let me pull up the chat window and get ready for my next game. In the meanwhile, you get ready with a notepad for the next game, which is from the white's perspective. And I am ready. There you go. Okay, so this is what it is, and this one is, we will calculate this from a transposed position. What I mean is, white played e4, black played, this is the French defense. So there are a number of ways you can reach this position. Like if you play d4 but black played e6, then white plays e4, black plays d5, you get there. Vihang in particular, he doesn't play this line with Vinavar. After bishop b4, I don't think he plays c5. So this video is interesting. For this game rather is interesting for Vihang, one of our members. So knight c3 and then black's move is c5. Now this move on the internet is very popular. Believe me, there are a lot of players who would play this as black. I enjoy playing against this line. It's not as powerful as bishop b4 or let's say knight f6. c5. And now the correct way to continue, white continued with pawn takes pawn. Then e takes d5 was played. Bishop b5 check. Knight blocked the check. Knight f3 getting ready to castle. Knight f6. Black is also developing pieces. And now here the idea attacking the pinned piece twice. So remember how you can play these moves. The bishop had pinned the knight to the king, and now the knight comes in on e5 to be another attacker for this knight. So what's the threat here, guys? You should know such things. The threat is if black is not careful, then knight takes c6, b takes c6, and after bishop takes c6, it will be a fork and you will win this. So let me give you a sample. Let's say black is not careful and black plays h6 here. Then white can play knight takes c6. White can play knight takes c6, b takes c6, and after bishop takes c6, there is this fork and white will gain the rook. So obviously black did not do that. Black played queen c7. Now white played bishop to g5, probably wanting to long castle. The idea is not clear yet. And black played knight to e4. Now it is here in this game that I am going to stop. A batch, guys, 2 minutes. Calmly think for entire 2 minutes and tell me continuation for white. 2 minutes starting now. Time is up and let us see what our seniors were able to do. Ankit is saying knight takes d5, queen b8, but Ankit, after knight takes d5, Black has wonderful queen d6 attacking our knight. So everybody seems to be agreeing on one move, which is knight takes d5. Everybody seems to be agreeing on that. But after you play knight takes d5, why will he go back with the queen to b8? He has queen d6. It's a very nice move, queen d6. So queen d6, queen f3, and then Soumitra is saying discovered and also mating threats. That's a very vague idea. I am not, well, you know now white is going to win. So you can say mating threat. I am not going to take vague answer. Of course, then you will say winning chances for white. Yeah, of course there are winning chances for white. Your duty is to find out how those winning chances work. So no, I'm not going to take that. After knight takes d5, black has queen d6. So let me go to the board and show you what I am trying to say here. Okay, what I am saying is, after the move knight takes d5, black doesn't have to go back. Black has queen d6. Then what do you do to that? That is the most important thing. So after this, some people say queen f3. So let us calculate what most people are saying. That will always be a good idea, is it not? So after queen f3, there are threats, mating threats. Saumitra's answer. No, Nijapkar will go queen d6. Which knight? Which knight is covering d6, Ankit? I'm showing it to you on the screen, is it not? Which knight is covering d6? No knight is covering d6. So remember that bishop d8 first is not the right move, Avanish. So I looked at your line, but that's not the right move. Now it is time for me to tell you what the right continuation is. Now stop guessing it. Don't guess anymore when I am trying to show you the answer. Now I will show you the answer. Stop your guesswork and enjoy this. Now stop your guesswork and just enjoy this. Okay. So back to the board. The actual winning move here. Yes, knight takes d5 is correct. But black plays queen d6, guys. And now the winning continuation here is bishop h4. You will say, what kind of move is that? Now look at what happens. It's a sacrifice of a piece. Queen takes d5. If you don't do that, there are many threats. If you don't do that, there are simply many threats. The first one is knight takes c6. That's the first threat. So nothing otherwise will work. So black took that knight on d5, which is a free knight, and then bishop c4. And now the queen has no better move than queen takes c4, taking the bishop. Because if the queen goes to any safe square, let's say goes back to d6, if that happens, bishop takes f6 is checkmate. This is checkmate. Every square is covered and it's checkmate. By the way, let me show you, if after bishop h4, what if black does not take the knight? What if black plays something else? Let's say, well, I told you the first intention is knight takes c6. So let's say black tries a6 here. Then it's bishop takes c6, b takes c6, knight b6 attacking the rook. And if there is any plans of rook trying to be saved like this, then after this move, there's queen g4 and there is terrible attack coming. And it's impossible for black to defend this, so much so that this position, if you put it in the engine, it is minus 3.5, close to something like that. But of course, these are hypothetical things. The first thing is knight takes d5, queen d6, bishop h4, and black will surely, in the game, black took the knight, and bishop c4 was, much to his horror, a realization that the queen is in fact pinned because bishop takes f7 is checkmate. What a wonderful game. So let us bring the notation window and time for you to jot down the game. Let me know as soon as you are done with jotting down this game. So most of them are now saying that they are done. And now we can proceed to the last game for today very quickly indeed. So you get ready for the next game and also get a fresh page on the notepad. This is again going to be from the white's perspective. I am back with you. So the game is on this position where it's e4, e5, d4 and knight c6. It's a very important defense, and now this can be reached in many ways, but just remember that even some players who don't like to accept the Danish gambit play like this: e4, e5, then we'll play d4, and black, instead of taking it, plays knight c6. So we have reached this position. Let's take it from this position. Attack on the knight, knight c e7, because both the knights can come on e7. So this is knight c e7 and not just knight e7. f4, trying to open up the f file. Knight f3, bishop pinning the knight. Knight c3, knight g6, attack on the bishop. Question to the bishop, what do you want to do with it? So exchange. And now this is the all important move. Look at what white just played. Bishop takes f3 and white played bishop b5 check. It is here that we are going to stop with 2 minutes for the A batch. The bishop took the knight and we played bishop b5 check. Why? Because black, what he did was c6, and now from here you can calculate white to play. From this position, calculate white to play, and I'm going to start your thinking time. Last 5 seconds. Soumitra has shared a line with us, and so has Mohit. D takes c6, then b takes c6, bishop takes c6, fork. Whoa, but have you realized with the fork our queen is also hanging? Samarth Nijapkar has shared a line. 2 pieces and a pawn for a queen. Whoa, really? Now let me actually show you what happened. So this will be very interesting, and then we will end the lecture. I'll show you what happened and then we can happily end. But let me remind you again before I show you the solution that Soumitra and Jay, you have been given responsibilities. Make sure that tomorrow, Soumitra, you create a tournament for all. Okay, anyway, back to the position. All the students for the hub, that is. This was the position, and now I'm going to show you what happened. Yes, your first guess was right. D takes, first move is right. D takes c6. Black played bishop takes d1. Those who are thinking b takes c6, then bishop takes c6 check, then maybe there is king e7, and then we will play the rook, bishop takes a8, and then we are getting rook and bishop and pawn for the queen. But that's not what it is. He will definitely take the queen, and he took it in the game. Then what followed was c takes b7, discovered check. How is it a discovered check? The pawn will move and the bishop is going to check. So it's a discovered check. King e7. Now knight to d5 check. Then king e6 and f5 is checkmate. I always say this, a checkmate with a pawn is like rubbing salt on the wound. Checkmate with a pawn, it hurts. It absolutely hurts. So this was really wonderful, and I enjoyed, I'm not going to pull up the notation here. You can always go back, watch this video. It's always on the channel for the notation. At the moment, let me summarize and end the lecture. Today we discussed about the tournament and I've appointed 2 volunteers. Next we saw 10 famous players, jotted them down. Next time we'll do another set of 10 players. And we studied 3 games worth studying. Play these games over the board. Let me know. And leave the feedback for Omkar sir's lecture on YouTube. It was a wonderful lecture. Ankit, I hope you watched it. He's another faculty in our hub. And we will meet again on not Sunday directly, tomorrow. We are going to have a tournament by Soumitra. I will probably cover that live on YouTube. So I'm not going to play. Tomorrow is the second Friday when I don't play. But let's see who wins tomorrow. So hopefully we will have new champions tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care, and we will meet tomorrow.